A lot of your favorite YouTubers have amazing, inspiring setups. They've got key lights, hair lights, fill lights, practical lights, modifiers, gels, light cookies. Yes, cookies. They basically have a lot of tools to make their videos look amazing. So the question is, can we do the same but for less? A lot less. I posted a poll and let you determine what the budget for this video should be, and it's going to be $750. Now this is a lot of money, don't get me wrong, but for really good lighting, it is not that much money. But we do love a challenge. To make this even more challenging, we're filming this video in this very dark space. Now dark spaces are great, they look great on camera, they're great for controlling lighting and controlling spillage. However, dark spaces also absorb a lot of light, which means that you need more of it, and we do not have more money. Now the first thing we're going to do, which will make your shot look way more visually interesting, and this has nothing to do with lighting and it is completely free, is depth. Now even if you're in a small room, what you want to do to create depth is by shooting into a corner, because this will make a huge difference compared to when you're shooting against a wall. Now if you can only shoot against a wall, you want to make sure that there is enough space between you and that wall to create a little bit of depth. And something else that will really help with creating depth is by using a lens that has a wide aperture, so you get that nice blurry creamy background. So go ahead and try out a few different angles to see what will work best for your video. That is exactly what I've done, since this is a new space, and how we ended up at this angle with a lot of depth and a lot of leading lines and interesting things going on. And we're still at $750. As always, we're going to start with a dark canvas in 3, 2, 1. The first light we need is a key light, because the key light is the main source of light that we're going to be using to light us. For this whole video, we're going to stick to Emerald lights because they are specifically made for creators, which means that they're also made for a creator's budget. It is honestly great value for money. I've been using the lights for years and so far they've not broken on me, so I like them. And since we're on a budget, we're going to have to stick to the most affordable one, which was the Emerald 60D. It is $169, so let's deduct that from our balance, and we have $581 left. Pretty good. I'm optimistic at this point. We're not there yet though, because what you're looking at right now is the Emerald 60D with a softbox on a light stand. Now the softbox that I chose for this video is the Emerald Mini SE. It comes in at $69, and the light stand is about $30. The reason why you need a softbox is because it will soften the light on your face. Without a softbox, it's gonna look very, very harsh. You could, if you want to, if you're in a white space, for example, you could bounce it off the ceiling or off the walls, but I do think that a softbox will give it the best look. Now all of the lights that we will be using in this video, we're going to be adding them to the Sidus app, because this is a light control app that you can use to control all of the lights that you have, turn them off, turn them on simultaneously, or change the settings individually, all on your phone. So on the Sidus app, I have just created a new scene and I've added the Emerald 60D and set the intensity to about 9%. Now the placement of your key light is really important, as it makes a difference in how you will look on camera. Now I always put the light up right in front of me and then tilt it down a little bit so that there is no shadows on my face and I'm lit evenly. Now a more cinematic way to light yourself is by putting it in a 45-degree angle. I've already covered this in a previous video, so I would highly recommend you to check that one out. It will be in the description and at the end of the video in the cards if you want to learn more about this. The next light that we're going to add to this setup is a small hair light, because we want to separate ourselves from the background a little bit more. Because we're on a budget, we're going to opt for the Aperture MC, which is a pocket light. To use the MC as a hair light, I put it on a clothing rack behind me, which is made of metal, and the MCs actually have magnets, so this makes them useful in almost every situation, which is really great. Now as you can see, it is shining right here on my hair and also a little bit here on my shoulders. Now this is preferable, but if you're on a tight budget, this isn't necessary. We now got our main setup ready and we have $392 left, which is not that bad. So it is time to fix this background, because it's just very dark and very dull. Now Emerald just released two full color RGB studio lights, the 150C and the 300C. These are some of the most versatile studio lights that you can get, because you can use it as a key light because it still offers the white from cold to warm, but you can now also change it to every single color available. In other words, it is more bang for your buck than getting a regular studio light that only has a daylight option, for example, because you do get a lot more options. So if you have a bit of of a bigger budget and you like flexibility and creativity, this light is something to consider. For example, you could use it if you're shooting against the wall to spice up the wall, or to use it as a fill light to create more ambience in the room. We're going to do the latter, so we're going to be spending a good chunk of our budget on the 150C. I just added the 150C to our scene and I'm just gonna turn it on and choose a color. Now you can choose a color by using the slides right here or by using the color wheel, which is my preferred method because then you can just see the colors. Now, if you're not entirely sure what color to pick for your setup, or if you wanna match colors, for example, then you can use the color picker in the Sidus app. Just point at the color that you want to copy and then tap on pick up, and the light will now have changed to that specific color. On the Sidus app, we can even program our Amaran lights to synchronize with music, which is pretty cool. The Sidus app has so many different features that you can use for creative projects or even for your YouTube setup. But in this case, we're just going to stick to one color that we're going to use to fill the background of this shot and to cast a color on our white bed to make it a little bit more interesting. Let's take a look at our balance. It is now $33. Yeah, that's not great, but it's pretty. Especially because it's such a big difference if we turn this off and we don't have that light, and we turn it on. This just looks so much better. Initially, I bounced the light on the ceiling because I didn't want to spend any more of our money on modifiers, but I noticed a lot of spillage right here on the floor, and the blue doesn't really mix well with the color of the floor. So in order to fix that for as much as we can on this budget is, instead of using the official modifier that comes with the 150C but I have forgotten to bring with me, I got some cardboard and created my own modifier, and in my opinion, this looks a lot better. So with 33 bucks in our pocket, what are we going to do? Now, I always like to work with what you got, and I think that it is always good to just roam around the house and see whatever you can use in terms of lamps, in terms of lighting, to use as practicals in your background. For example, as I was exploring this room, I found out that behind the headboard of this bed, there is a really nice LED light that I have set to pink because I think it's a really cool combination with the blue. Now, if you don't have a light strip and you would like one, Amaran actually has one specifically made for filmmaking, so you can check that out. Link will be in the description. And then we still have a table lamp that we can use, and I actually want to light this corner right here. So I'm going to be spending my last bit of money on the B7C. Actually, we are going over budget, I know, but you gotta live a little, okay? You gotta live a little. And that's how we went from this to this with a budget of a little more than $750. If you want to see a full lighting setup video for a budget of $500, please let me know in the comments so I can make that video, and please subscribe to the channel so you don't miss that video. And of course, like I said before, there will be a shopping list in the description, so happy shopping.